Good. Nice to see some faces. I'm not supposed to be the person who's uh, running the show today, so I'm just using time till your program coordinator, Dr. Anup Koleri, uh, is here. I mean, we were all here. There was some confusion. So, but welcome, nevertheless. It's good to see you. It's too bad we are not meeting in a common space like a large room. There's Dr. Koleri. So I'll hand over to him. He'll take it from here. Yeah. Anup, we can't hear you.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Very good afternoon to all
Yes,
of
yes,
you.
we can.
So, welcome to the Psychology SUS Orientation Program. Psychology. As such, I think I'll just, a little bit give you a briefing about the structure of BA programs. Okay. So, as you very well know, a student admitted to an undergraduate degree in school of the SUS will have to earn 96 credits by taking 24 courses. I repeat, 96 credits by taking 24 courses in 3 years. Okay, that's the structure. And in these 96 courses, we have foundation courses, which are like 4 courses of 4 credits each and amounting to 16 credits. We have discipline core and discipline elective courses, which are 12 courses, which are discipline specific, which will 12 into 4, it will amount to 48 credits. And then we have electives, which are electives offered by other disciplines. And we have 8 such courses of 4 credits each, and 8 into 4 is equal to 32 credits. So total, we have 96 credits, and total you have to complete 24 courses in 3 years, over a period of 3 year time. Okay. Now, when we talk about the courses are as such. We have something called the foundation courses, okay, which are offered between the first and the fourth semester. That means that in the first 3 semesters, you will have to finish at these foundation courses, which are offered to you. Okay, these are actually language. There are language courses, and we have English language courses, and we have Hindi language courses. Okay, and the third foundation course is nothing but environmental issues and challenges. These are the 3 foundation courses that we have. Okay, so you will have to finish these foundation courses, 3 at least. Okay, and then uh, we have the discipline courses, as I told you, which are 12 in number. The discipline courses are the courses offered by the program. So these are purely at core psychology courses, which will be every program also offers certain elective courses. So there are 12 compulsory psychology courses, and there are elective courses offered by psychology. Okay, these are, courses which you can opt to, or you can opt to other elective courses which are offered by other programs also. But the 12 courses which are compulsory has to be completed for you to get a BA honors degree in psychology. Okay. Now, talking about the attendance policy, we have a clear-cut attendance policy in the first year, which is pertaining to you. We have an attendance policy of 65 percentage. Okay, and there are certain criterion failing which there are grade cuts according to what amount of attendance shortage you have. Okay, that will be let known to you as and when time passes. And also another thing specific to uh, psychology, when I talk about psychology, in the first semester you will have a compulsory course. This is definitely we will have to take this compulsory course, which is coded as SUS PS 701. SUS stands for School of Undergraduate Studies 1, and PS 704 is Psychology 701. Okay, PS 701. So the course name is Understanding Personality. So this is one course that you will have to do in the first semester. Okay, and with that you will have a compulsory elective. Okay, any two of the three offered. As I told you, the English language course, the Hindi language course, and the environmental issue course. So any three compulsory, any two of the three courses which is offered to you. So in case and according to that, in case there are two levels of English. One is EPC. If you get an EPC, you'll get to know the full forms very soon. Maybe I can tell you right now. The EPC.
I think it's a form of communicative English, if I'm not making English
Wait
word.
1 minute.
It's the English proficiency course.
Yeah, yes, it's a form of
Yeah,
communicative English. That's right.
it's called the English
It's an English
proficiency.
proficiency course. Okay, and then we have certain. Yeah, and the has two levels. One is EPC and based on that, the course for three of them are
Anoop, we can't hear you.
or one for repeat. If you get a EPC, okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
What? Hello.
Can hear you.
Yeah. So yeah, you can hear me, right?
Your voice sometimes gets cut.
Hello.
We can hear you now. Let's see. Continue, Anu.
Okay. Let's see how. Okay. So fine. So I told you we have PS 701 understanding personality, which is compulsory you have to take, and in the compulsory elective, if there are three options. One is English, English may option है, Hindi may option है, and then you have environmental issues. In the English, there are two levels: the English proficiency course and English for academic purposes. If you are getting either of them based on a language proficiency test, suppose you are getting EPC, which is the lower one, English proficiency course, you will take a Hindi course along with that, and plus one elective course which is offered by any of the other disciplines or another foundation optional. Okay. In case you are getting an English for academic purpose based on the proficiency test, then you will be going for a foundational optional plus any of the electives. So either way, you are going to have 4 courses in the first semester, of which understanding personality PS 701 is the compulsory one, and one English course. In some case it will be a Hindi plus foundational option. In the other case, it will be English plus foundational optional plus elective. Okay, you'll come to know about this structure later as and when you go through the brochure. So I'm telling you so that later when you go, you can get a better clarity into the brochure that you are having. Okay, then with regard to there are in certain courses, for example, when you go to the second semester or third semester courses, there is a possibility that if you want to take some of the core courses in psychology, you will have to pass certain other courses in the previous semester. Okay, suppose there are some courses in fifth semester. If we want to, for example, certain courses are there which are very experimental psychology or like stat. So you will have to clear some of the primary courses which are offered in the first and the second semester, before which you can opt for the that particular course in fifth semester. These are called prerequisites. So you should be well aware of what are the prerequisites which are required to take a particular course. Okay, so that is something that you have to keep in mind again. And yeah, yeah, so that's all basically with regard to the structure of the courses for the first semester. And I think that the courses PS 701, which is personality, will be introduced by Dr. Mamta Carolil to you right now. And then after that we will have another course which will be introduced, which is ITPM by Dr. Vinod. So I hand it over to Dr. Mamta to present the personality course PS 701 to you. Thank you. Okay, Mamta.
All right. So there's a lot of disturbance from somebody's mic. I'm not sure whose it is. If you're not speaking, oh God, I think it was because Anoop is in the SUS office. Sorry, Anoop. It's it's all the work activity in the office that we are hearing. Anyway, so understanding personality, like Anoop said, it is a core course for you. It is an open elective, which means it is open to other program students also. I'm assuming all of you here are psychology students, but maybe there are also people from other disciplines here. It's a core course, and Anoop was also talking about how some courses are prerequisites for other courses. So understanding personality is a prerequisite for, like, I believe, a few courses. It connects, it's fairly, I would call it like, fairly foundational in that it connects to many other. It raises fundamental questions about the nature of human personality, right? What makes a person unique? What patterns of thinking, feeling, motivation, or acting, right? And how that distinguishes one person from another, right? So the course, therefore, it also has, aside from theoretical perspectives that goes into these questions of, how people come to be, how people become the personalities they are. Are they born so? Are they? Is it their experiences? Right? What degree of control does one have in terms of changing one personality, or to what extent is it like, are we a product of, like, in our environments, including our families, our social positions, our cultural or historical context, right? These questions are raised. Aside from that, and these questions are differently answered in the 4 very important foundational psychological approaches, right? Like the humanistic approach to personality, the psychoanalytic approach, the cognitive behavioral approach, and which is the 4th? Cognitive behavioral?
Phenomenological one, Mamta. Phenomenology.
Humanistic.
Yeah, no, humanistic, I said. Humanistic, psychoanalytic,
Behavioral?
dispositional, the tests one, right? All the psychological tests that you do, right? These are the 4 perspectives. So in each of these, which has its own theories about the origin of personality, how we may understand personality, the stability of personality, how, people's suffering can be, like, eased, the different therapeutic approaches to, like, to patients who come to psychologists. They also have their methods of, like, studying personality with their particular assumptions about, like, what can be known about people. Okay, so we also have a separate module on, methods, which will connect to, like, case studies, which will connect to statistics, it will connect to experiments, right? So this is really like a skeleton, which is then going to be, like, like filled out in many other courses. Okay, so typically what we do is, a majority of the course will be going in each 1 week will be spent 1 week to, like, maybe 10, 6 classes perhaps will be spent on each perspective, like the humanistic or the psychoanalytic, right? So you'll really, and then, like, perhaps, and Sunaina and I will be teaching this course together. We're splitting the course. We'll discuss this, but something we might do is do a film analysis, right? Like characters in a film, which you will then try to analyze and understand by wearing, like, the humanistic cap, right? Or the psychoanalytic cap, or the cognitive behavioral cap, these are broad theoretical perspectives. So I found that usually very useful for students to learn the distinctions, to, like, how to look at people and how to understand them through these broad perspectives. After this, right, like, after this major chunk, this will be 2/3 of the course will be done by this time, right? And then you will be doing a culture and personality, broadly Eastern, Western. What does a cultural context contribute to the constitution of who we are, right? Now, what we value, what motivates us, and what we aspire to, etc. There are also cultural roots to that, right? So that's one thing, and one module on where we understand gender, right? As if we don't normally understand gender in terms of personality, right? But we can like masculinity and femininity as, like, kinds of modes of personality configurations. That's what we will be doing in that, like a brief history of how psychology has studied gender, right, and problematizing that. We will be having, like, a end term. Usually it's an exam, right? And ongoing quizzes is also something that we do, right? This course is theoretical. Please, you'll need to, like, and you'll be expected to, like, really know those conceptual differences, right, between humanistic, and you need to know this absolutely. If you're going to go in the psychological line, some point or the other, you will have to learn it, right, in the discipline of psychology. So we'll be having, like, regular sort of quizzes. because it's going to be difficult for you towards the end to get into things. Attending classes will be great. It tends to be interactive, right? So you learn a lot, not just from reading, but from the classes, the questions you pose, right? Every year, excellent. The interventions that you students bring in, always fresh and great, right? So yeah, and I think Anup has already told you this, that attendance is we do look at attendance, and there's a way in which when you start missing classes without you knowing, you would have missed too many classes, and then it's grade cuts, etc. in the end. I've had feedback year after year wherein students have told me this, right? Ma'am, wish you would emphasize that a little bit more in the beginning, that attendance. So I just want to warn you about that also. Please watch, your attendance, okay? We just want to say that we also record, right? So for those of you with poor internet connections, we will be sharing those, the class recordings will be there. Right now what students are also doing is also there's a lot of peer support, right? Those of you who have a regular internet and connections, right? You also help one another also in terms of catching up, etc. You'll need to get to know one another. This is going to be a challenge for this batch in the beginning, right? But we are all here also. We teachers are here for those of you who are facing difficulties with internet connections, or we are not living in easy times, right? So you can approach us all for figuring these things out also, right? If there are challenges that you're specifically facing studying from home, it's not easy, okay? But yeah, so this is what I wanted to tell you. I'm rushing through it. Any questions?
I have a question. Yeah, I wanted to ask, if there are 2 language courses and there is 1 EVS course, what is the 4th foundational course? Do we have to select that, or is that prescribed by the course that we've taken?
Vinod, do you want to answer this? Foundational courses, there are electives. Now you can choose. Yeah. You please tell. Yeah.
So, so you're right in asking that question about, there is 1 English course, 1 Hindi course, and there is 1 environmental course. These 3 environmental issues and challenges. So these 3 courses are there. Now the 4th course is you have to choose 1 elective among several electives that are offered. So 1 elective is called Indian Constitution and Democracy. Other is Youth, Society and Literature. The 3rd, which I will be introducing, is Identity Through Popular Narratives. Then you have a course, Indian Society, Continuities, Changes and Paradoxes. You have Introduction to Culture and Creative Expressions. You have Introduction to Drawing. You have Introduction to Gender. You have Introduction to Social Sciences and Humanities. You have Hindi, Aadhaar, Patyakram, and you have Logic and Reasoning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of the 9 courses, Vasundhara, right? You asked a question, right? So Vasundhara, out of the 9 courses, you will have to choose 1. So I'm just presenting 1 course, and I presume that there will be some way in which other faculty members will come to present what the courses and outlines are and stuff.
Yeah, in fact, I wonder whether that Ishita may not have received the link, right? Vinod, we should probably send it to Ishita. She was waiting on the other link.
Oh,
you're there, Ishita. Okay, great. So we have 1 person here. See, I just want to say that all the options may not be available to you on your timetable. So the timetable will be one constraining factor, and sometimes, now I'm not totally aware of it this semester, Ishita may know better, but some courses are offered this semester, some may be offered next semester. So there are these kinds of issues also that you will figure it out once you actually see your timetable, I think.
Yeah.
I had a question.
Yes.
No. So if I'm interested in more than 4 to 5 courses, can I take them up next semester or in later years? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, it's allowed. So 4 courses means you're already doing 16 credits. So it is to do with how your timetable allows you as well to go for the 5th course, and if that is available in your free time for you to do it. So you're free to audit the 5th course, and depending on whether you're able to do
No,
justice.
no. Vinod, fifth course, I think, is not allowed to them in these semesters. It's
first two
allowed
semesters.
later.
The
Yeah.
third year,
But,
the third semester.
yeah, the later on the courses are, the fifth course can be added, but I think not right now, if I remember, if I'm correct in it.
So
Right?
I can take up a course that is offered in the first year, in maybe second or third year.
You could take it up. Yeah, you could take it up under certain circumstances. It's not a completely open choice, right? You'll
Yes.
get to know these details in a little while. If we overload with you with everything, it will get confusing. But I think, yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
your
The
dean is
fifth-
saying that I'm right.
Yes,
Both.
yes.
Maybe you can clarify. Yeah.
Yeah, both, please. Welcome to the orientation. I would want our dean, both to really address the students for the new journey in psychology. Sorry, it was like too much of this technological glitch, which was not allowing for a face-to-face interaction, which is the central core philosophy of any psychology program. So here we have both. You've heard him in 2 orientations, but still I would really want his presence to begin the journey before we talk about structures and course and credits kind of stuff. Yes, both. Welcome.
No, thank you. So I think the students have heard me often enough. Couple of orientations which have already happened. So I won't add anything more to that except welcome them. And I hope you have a great 3 years ahead of you at AUD. It's a great learning experience, and it's a great sharing experience more than that. Because at AUD, we are very, very particular about the fact that learning is a sharing experience for all of us. It's not something that it's not like we have some knowledge which we just push on to you or give you, The classroom is a space which we share with students. So I hope it's a learning experience for you, and you enjoy your 3 years. Now, I just wanted to clarify a little bit. Rachna is absolutely right. The 5th course, 5 courses are allowed actually in the 5th and 6th semesters, not in the earlier semesters in any case. This is largely something which is allowed because students need to complete their 24 courses. Sometimes they've not managed to do enough courses in the first 4 semesters. So there is a norm in SUS by which the maximum number of courses you can do in one academic year is 10, which basically translates to 5 per semester. And that is allowed because you are falling short of the total number of courses in your 5th or 6th semesters. So we allow that to happen. In any case, please remember that SUS allows you to, there's a minimum of 6 semesters, which is 3 years, and a maximum of 5 years or 10 semesters. So we are quite flexible. We allow students to go beyond the 3 years. Just a minor clarification about the foundation language courses that we were talking about. There are 2 English language courses. One is called EAP and the other is called EPC, okay, which Anup was trying to explain. English for academic purposes and English proficiency course. Now, what will happen very soon is that we will administer a test. All undergraduate students have to take this test, which is called the LPT, or the language placement test, which basically tests your proficiency. And and some of you will be placed in what we call level 1. So if you're placed in level 1, then you will have to do EPC. EAP is compulsory for everybody. So some of you will do both EPC and EAP. Most of you, I would presume, would do only EAP. Okay. So those are the 2 foundational courses. There is a Hindi compulsory course also. We have Hindi, 3 levels of Hindi. One for students who have not done Hindi at all, one for those who have done it till class 10, and a third Hindi for those who have done it till class 12. Okay, so there you will be assigned a particular course depending upon what grade you have studied Hindi till. There'll be no exam for that. There'll be no test for that. Okay. The third compulsory course, of course, EIC. Anup has already told you about that. This is normally offered in the 3rd or the 4th semesters. Okay. typically all of you will be doing 4 courses per semester, that is 16 credits per semester, typically. Some of you may want to do, sometimes, you want to repeat a course because you haven't done well in it, or you want to improve your grade. That's permitted. As long as you give up your earlier grade, you accept whatever grade you will get. All of this information is also contained in the handbook which is available. And I suggest that all of you look at it and study it very carefully, because all the questions that you're asking actually have been answered there. Okay, so thank you, and a very warm welcome once again, and best wishes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
See you in classes.
So Anup, before we end,
Yeah.
we have faculty members amongst us, and
Yes.
Vatsala, Sunaina, Gangumai Kamai, Rachna, you have met me. I have not even spoken about my course. I just thought that because we have this time, we might as well just say hello to each. So if each of you can introduce yourself, Vatsala, Sunaina, yeah, please.
Hello everyone, I'm Vatsala, and I generally teach social psychology and understanding childhood psychology for India. So this semester we won't be meeting, but certainly we'll be meeting in the coming years. And with this, I really extend a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, Sunaina. Are you there?
Hello everyone, I'm Sunaina. So in the previous semesters, I was teaching Psychology for India, research methods, statistics, neuropsychology, wide variety of courses actually. So and counseling psychology as well. So this semester I'll be teaching personality. I'll be sharing that with Mamta, as Mamta already told you. Then I'll be teaching ITPN, hopefully. Then yeah, that is it. And a warm welcome to you all to AUD. And I'm associated with AUD for the past 2 years. And we can have a good interactive teaching learning experience here. I wish you all success for your journey with psychology as well as with AUD. And we are living in a very difficult time. And in the online mode of teaching, we have our own limitations. We are struggling. Both teachers and students are struggling. But let's hope, despite all those difficulties, we'll hope that we'll have a good time together. Yeah, all the best.
All right. Gangumai Kamai?
Yeah, I think, am I visible to all of you?
No, you're not.
Actually, there is power cut at my place. So
Sure. Please go on.
Yeah, so my name is Gangumai Kamai, and I've been associated, with AUD for the last more than 10 years now. So I would be engaging with you with 3 or 4 courses, starting with human cognition, then psychology in action, statistics, and OB. And if you guys are taking some dissertation, then obviously I would definitely love to, engage more with the research. And hoping for the best. And welcome to AUD.
Mamta?
We just met actually, in the introduction to understanding personality. I also teach experiments. I teach case studies. What have I taught? Yeah, I think these are the courses that I have taught. That's all I have to say for now. I'll see you in class. Okay.
Anup? Are you there? Yeah, I just thought we should be a little lighter, just introducing ourselves rather than just this format. And then I'll introduce the course, ITPN. Anup, if you can just share. We are not able to hear you, Anup. We are not able to hear you.
Hello, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I already met you. I'm Anup Koileri. I teach basically abnormal psychology, neuropsychology, human cognition, theories of personality, experiments in psychology, and such stuffs which are a bit more cognitive and more technical and a bit more, biologically oriented. That's my orientation, and that's all. So see you in class.
Rachna.
Rachna ma'am, your mic needs to be turned on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes. So we are all constantly adapting to this technology. Well, hi, I'm Rachna Johri, and I usually do teach the ITPN course with Vinod, but this year looks like I'm not taking it. So we are not going to meet soon. I have taught history of psychology. I was just recently teaching it. I sometimes have taught the research methods course. So, but let's see whether we meet in class or not. But it's always great to have a new batch of students join us. And I should also maybe tell you, since I am here, that I'm currently the director of CPCR, and as you must have heard, we are very, this is one thing we specialize in Ambedkar University, that if our students are going through any kind of psychological crisis, then not only their teachers, but also we have EHSAS, which is a kind of psychotherapy cell that we have to offer some support. We are also trying to put together a counseling cell, And so, why I'm saying this to you is that all of us in the psychology program, I can guarantee, but also EHSAS in particular is there for you people if you have any needs. So I'm there for that purpose also. You can always reach out to me if you're going through some kind of emotional crisis. This semester, I'm not going to be teaching you. I shall miss teaching you, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to teach you. So we will meet in a subsequent semester then, hopefully. But all the best. AUD is a very special place, and I hope you are able to, take advantage of what we are and what we want to be. So all the best.
Sure. Thank you, Rachna. Yeah, I'm Vinod. I teach courses in the first semester called Identity Through Popular Narrative, and also this course called Understanding Childhood in the fourth semester. And I also happen to teach social psychology in the third semester. And all faculty members usually who are also teaching undergraduate also teach the postgraduate, and some of them also teach the MPhil program and PhD program. So we are a set of faculty who teach across the spectrum. So some of us are not able to teach, not because we don't want to teach, but it's also because of the simple fact that we are spread across all three. So right from the day you enter, the imagination is that who would be the kind of students that we would want and look for, even for our PhD and stuff. So it is like a foundational journey till we reach that particular status. So that is one thought. The other thought that I just wanted to share with you is that we also have a student welfare fund for those students who find it economically quite challenging to meet on some fronts. We usually have some heads on which we give money. One is Xeroxes of 1500 TA when the campus is offline. So there are these issues with online and offline campus, but there is this student welfare fund that you can look up to, and the details of it is also mentioned in the website. But just broad stroke saying that food bills, Xerox and stationery bills, and some medical bills in some case also is sort of very much part of the frame. The other thing that might concern you is also about this student faculty committee. Apart from the other committees, these two committees, student faculty committee is where you will elect two representatives to be a part of two representatives who will represent you in working with academic challenges. So academic challenges is like, there are a few steps to those academic challenges. If there is anything that the course coordinator that you're not able to work with, or you're finding it difficult, you go and share it with the course coordinator at step one. So, and then if the course coordinator is not able to handle, by and large, we are quite listening to our students and quite care about our students. So we do not escalate it to the second or third level. So first is, in case you have issues that you're not able to get through and you're not able to communicate, you meet them. And the second is that you hold a GBM and then try to get the written representation to through the two student representatives from each class, who will also then share it with the faculty representative in SWF, and they will sit together and try to sort it out. So apart from the few things like timetable that is uploaded, which is really not negotiable based on our interests, we have the student welfare committee, and we have the student faculty committee, in which both try to address some of the concerns of academic things. Now, so I just want to now present to you broadly what the ITPN as a course is. And so this is one of the foundational elective. If you notice, it is called Identity Through Popular Narratives. In the timetable slot, it is from Monday 9 to 11 and Thursday 11 to 1. So I hope you understand that you'll have to really work through your sleep-wake cycles. If too much of watching can also disrupt the early morning classes, because attendance is compulsory. So it's SUS 1FC034. That's the course code. Right now I am teaching it, and if the numbers go above 60, then we have another teacher. Most likely Sunaina might come into make the frame. So this is after you choose, and depending on the number of students who enroll themselves to the course, then there will be a possibility of the second section. Now, how this is linked to the vision is, of course, this stage of your life is always about, and it's also about choices and relationships. And how do we hold on to your choices and and your fantasy simultaneously, of not letting go as you're trying to negotiate the world, right? The second way in which we think is about your representation of identity, which is through several narratives that come by. And third is to really give and do justice to the adolescent in stability, and also take the next step in trying to make sense of ethical responsibility. So we're actually trying to examine how your subjective position will slowly also lead to a certain ethical responsible way of making sense of self and your relationship with the other. And also this course allows for space to display a curious despair about oneself, or all the split off parts that we seem to have come through. Like you remember in the first two orientations, if you really seen how we have parallel communication that was happening between students, and one of them almost uttered an abuse as the orientation was going on, and then later on realized that it was all recorded, it was all live, and all faculty members were actually seeing and reading through all of it. So I think it's absolutely fine to have your own frame of communication and stuff, but then you engage with the question as to what is real. Is the face that is there staring on the camera that's real, or is your cell phone, which is having an independent line of communication, that is real? These are the kind of themes that this course addresses in this. Called the dynamics of the popular. And then we also try to imagine, if this is popular, what is at the margin? And we try to make some sense of the unconscious and the negation of identity, and what becomes popular and what becomes unpopular under the themes of caste, gender, and disability. This is a broad goal, and we do this using literature, cinema, songs, poetry. If there is a possibility where it's often this course is transacted offline, which is much more real and much more relatable. Summary of expectations and objectives. This is a journey, this course is a journey, and hope the teacher and student can wonder, relate, or internalize some of these objectives. So if you really look and study at these objectives closely, it is about linking the narratives of the popular and critically examining the unpopular in the margins as to what is left out in that unpopular. Similarly, you have this definition of themselves as students and the unconscious choice of the popular, to dwell into identities and ideals of love and intimacy, fantasy and real, eventually the self and the other. And somewhere the struggle is to extend the classroom space as a group space, right, for people to come together. And to, yeah, so that is it. So we have 4 modules. One is called Scenes of the Popular, where we are actually asking this question: how do popular narratives influence your identity formation, and what recedes to the margin, and what is the norm? Second is, of course, we say how do we understand crisis, you know, in terms of ideas, in terms of ideals, in terms of loving and intimacy, in terms of fantasy, in terms of the other. So I think we're also looking at the space for solitude and the space for being lost in one's own self. The third module is about trying to weave this identity through intergenerational narratives and fault lines of identity, especially in terms of partition, Holocaust, or caste violence. So that's the third module, which says the canvas of the narrative. And fourth is, of course, despite all this collapse around us, why is it the popular still thrives and keeps going on, and what is it about it? That's the fourth module. So we have this reading list: it's Erikson, Kacker, Freud, and in case we are able to do well and in this modality, if only texts are going to be taken, maybe, because this kind of a Google Classroom mode does not allow for too much movies being watched together as a group, until you guys help me out if there is a strategy of doing it without violating a copyright in some manner. Otherwise, the kind of films that we generally engage is Queen, Mashan, Ship of Theseus, or Kai Poche. I mean, different groups decided that we go through a different journey. And as Rachna had said, that we both held classes together. It used to be a huge class size of 100 or 90 students odd. And so it allowed us both to really share things much more together, and also work through different challenges that people, students shared as they were going on with it. Now, as far as the instructional design is concerned, it's through Google Classroom, and you will have to enroll through your student G Suite IDs. So by and large, it is film reviews, diaries, self and group presentation. So you see that there is a critical reflection of self, and there is a thematic representation of self in every day. And one of the core things that we are trying to is to listen to each other and care for each other, where the model, the theme around is surviving failure as success, rather than trying to be successful. And if we are successful, then we examine what this success is about. So the very fact that you're all attending this orientation, we would like to wonder how many students were left out of this group who also would have wanted to be a part of that space. So that is the kind of imagination we're thinking through this course. So end of it is patience and perseverance due to COVID, and the peer support that you will be able to give to your own fellow classmates who are not able to access or not able to attend to this class is a key component emphasized in it. These are the 4 assessment, tentative dates: film review, mid-semester exam and diary, and then end semester exam. And these are the kind of weightages that is there for this course called Identity Through Popular Narratives. Yeah. So roughly, this is the landscape of the course. And like this, you will have many teachers coming and sharing this. It's available on the website. And the grading, there is a grading scale, which I'm sure it will be there in the handbook, which you need to really understand and look through. You will have students from other disciplines coming and being a part of this course, and in this course called ITPN. That's why it's called Foundational Elective. So my class has generally had a composition of psychology, economics, history, literature, mathematics students coming to be a part of the class. So it is that journey of those class going together kind of stuff. Right? So I think it is that I just want to share with you. And I hope you've been able to connect to some of the thoughts that have been shared in this small course for a period of time. And that is all. So welcome. If you have any questions, I would like to take it and call it a day, because I'm literally going and sharing this course in all the classes since morning. I'm quite exhausted. So if you have any questions, please do.
Yeah, it's not compulsory for psychology students to do it. You should be clear about that. You may do it, you may wish to take it up, you may wish to take something else.
Any other course. So it's not a, but we are offering from our domain so that we try to bring different students to a psychological thinking and foundation, because students can also change a stream at some point of time. That option is there. They might have come, that option is there if they have their cutoff, if they have their attendance, and if they have a seat vacant, they can even change the stream. So we have had students from economics who have come to psychology to do psychology, who are right now doing our MPhil program as well. So, we've had students who have had the journey, and it is a journey, and I'm sure you're in the start of a journey. So I'm sorry to take so much time to share it, but it really takes time. Generally in orientation, we have a hot cup of tea and samosa at the end of it, but I don't think we have a luxury for any of them. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask at the moment. Otherwise, yeah.
Can I introduce a couple of courses if there aren't any questions?
Sure.
Please, kindly do it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Can I ask something?
Sure. Japish, yes.
Yeah. I wanted to ask when our first class will be held and like when will be allotted into classes.
I think you will be getting these directives from the Dean Student Services. You'll get your Gmail, you'll get your access to library, you'll get a few things, ID cards, many things that will come your way. So we as teachers at the moment are just introducing and waiting for when we ought to begin that audit. And how it will be done, it will take time. So I'm sure Anup Koilari, who is the program coordinator, will also help you facilitate all this process. When they come to know, they will share it with you. So don't worry about it.
All right.
Please
Thank you so much.
Please check your mail. Sorry, Pshita, for the delay and slow meandering of my course. Sorry.
No, not at all. Hello, everyone. I'm Ishita. I'm here to introduce you to a couple of courses. The first one is called Indian Constitution and Democracy. This is a 4-credit course. It is an elective course. It is open to students from all streams. And what this course is basically about, we look at the Constitution of India as a living document, right? And how it interacts with political structures, social processes. So we sort of begin the course by looking at the historical background and the political conditions in which the Constitution of India was framed. And then we go on to look at certain basic features. So we look at what are the judicial structures in India, what do we mean by separation of powers, what are our fundamental rights, what is the provision of reservation in the Constitution of India, why has it become so politicized, what do we mean by grassroots democracy, how is this connected with the idea of development. So some of these themes we will look in detail during the course. As far as the reading is concerned, the reading material, we usually refer to a combination of written text and we use some visual material. So we largely refer to 2 handbooks for this course, the OUP handbooks. And we use materials such as Shyam Benigal's Samvidhan. We see Newton, Article 15. So some of the recent films which have come out, we use those for the reading of this course as well. As far as the assignment structure is concerned, we usually follow a scheme of 40 plus 30 plus 30. So we have a couple of exams and we do either a presentation or some other review sort of an assignment. But this is something which we can take a call on when we meet in a smaller group in the class. The course will be jointly taught by Michael and me, and I'll share the course title, course code, and our emails in the chat box shortly. And please feel free to write in with any queries or clarifications. The other course is called Introduction to Social Sciences and Humanities. This is also a 4-credit course. And again, this is a foundation optional course available to open to students from all disciplines. This course basically looks at what are social sciences and humanities, what is the context in which they emerged, very basic things which are sort of applicable to all disciplines. What do we mean by knowledge? How is knowledge generated? Questions such as these. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to give you more details about this course because it is going to be taught by another faculty, and it's a visiting faculty, and that has not been finalized yet. But hopefully very soon we will have more details and the faculty will be able to share more details about the course with you. But meanwhile, in case of any question, I'll type in the chat box. Our email IDs, Michael and mine. Please feel free to get in touch with us in case of any queries or clarifications that you require. Thanks, Anu.
Yeah, so I think to all students, I mean, I would just like to say to you that because you're just joining in, look through the student handbook and look at what is the assessment scale, look at the course codes that you have to, and look at this foundational elective. There are like, many, like Ishita presented one, I presented one. Go into the website, our website, look at the syllabus. Because, some may have interest in art, some may have interest in culture and creativity. You have an option to take many divergent courses in the initial semesters. As you go into the second and third year of your thing, you will start going more into your core courses. So the degree of freedom for exploration will become lesser and lesser as you go into it. So please understand, this is the time for you to really explore and choose whatever is in your frame or outside your frame. So that you can keep those interests alive. And that is one of the biggest thing that is an asset as far as Ambedkar University is concerned, that we are able to audit different courses from different disciplines. And so please make use of that. To all those students who are here, that is something that I would really urge you to look up and read up the attendance policy, read up the things, and try to be the part of the classroom discussion and spaces, I think, which is extremely important. And then look up everything. You look up slowly, you'll be able to understand a few things as to how do you fill that form, how do you enroll for all your 4 credits. Initially, it will be a little tricky and tiring, but it will be easy because everything is well explained if you just go through all of that. So if you have made it so far, I'm sure you'll be also able to do that. So that's my sense. Yeah. You have any queries? Any other queries other than that? Okay. Yes, Anup, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And let's hope that as soon as the classes are going to start, I'll let you know as soon as I get the information that will be published to you by me. And all the best to all of you, and see you all in classes soon.